Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, Vietnam. Anybody remember that? Good morning, Vietnam. I love that. Uh, Welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth, and I am your friendly hillbilly host, and this is Hillbilly Crime. Now, if you've not been here before, what we're doing right now is listening to a series of audio tapes from the Ben Fields investigation. Ben Fields is the deputy that took Mickey's place, Mickey Steins. He took his place as courtroom security, as bailiff for Judge Kevin Mullins. So we are listening to these audio tapes or audio recordings that were done with the Attorney General's office. So this is the Kentucky Attorney General's office who is recording these interviews. And it's one of their detectives that is conducting the interview. So everybody come on in. We got Tammy 79. Here we go. Shine that light. Janice 5957. Hello, sweet lady. Ann, Miss Ann, hello. Brusmit. Hey, Elizabeth. CC. Good morning, everybody. I had so much on my mind trying to get ready for today's show. There's just so much. I want to start off by saying, when this first happened, when it came out that Mickey was the one who had committed this crime down in Whitesburg, I didn't believe it. I had a hard time believing that Mickey was the perpetrator, first of all. And then I absolutely just did not believe the rumors that were going around about Judge Mullins. I just could not see how a sitting judge, in our courthouse, in our criminal justice system, a sitting judge would be conducting themselves inappropriately to this extent. In many of my earlier videos, I said, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Well, my mind's starting to change. I've gotten several people have reached out and shared their stories with me. And we're going to share them here on the show, but we're just going to do it anonymously. So we're not going to tell their names. But apparently, this has been going on for a really, really, really long time. Okay. Now, we've also got the Commonwealth attorney, who was Edison Banks. Edison Banks has been in that courthouse the same length of time as Mickey and Kevin Mullins, if not longer. Okay. So he was in this circle. Courthouse Connections. This is what this video is on, today's show. Several people have been wondering who the uncle was in the interview yesterday. I think it was yesterday's audio that we listened to. They have accused Ben's uncle, Ben Fields' uncle, of, this is sex trafficking. That's what this is. That's what we're looking at. And nobody's wanting to call it what it is. Okay. They're handing them over, from one to the next. And, she did, go be with the uncle, and they're not wanting to tell who the uncle is. He's listed in the civil lawsuit. I watched an interview with Ned Pillersdorf yesterday, and we should probably play that. But I want to read this article because this is from Edison Banks. Edison Banks was the Commonwealth attorney. Okay, he's the one who was doing upstairs crimes. He's the one who did felonies. and all of that. Now, he just passed away, okay? And we got several deaths here that I think should absolutely be looked into a little bit more than, what they've been doing. Okay, so let me share my screen, and we're going to read this article because he had a live-in nurse. He was sick, and he had a live-in nurse. And his live-in nurse was a little young girl full of rugs. This was on September 6th, 2023. This article was written, so this was last year. The handling of a court case involving a live-in certified nurse's aide who was arrested while driving a vehicle owned by the Letcher County Commonwealth's attorney is drawing questions from lawyers and others in the county. Cases have now come to light that show she had been arrested at least once before on a rug charge and pulled over and ticketed 2 days before the latest rug arrest for speeding and careless driving, also while in Banks's 2013 Tahoe. Commonwealth's attorney, Edison Banks, stepped aside in the rug case, and the Kentucky Attorney General has apparently appointed a special prosecutor from Bell County. So that's Pineville area. But so far, there has been no indictment and seemingly no movement in the case. Shocking. Banks has been ill for more than 3 years and has rarely been in his office or in court during that time. Do you know who was prosecuting cases? Let's see. Hey, do you want to come on? Are you at home? Okay, I'll send you the link. Yep, I'll send you the link. All right, bye. Okay, so we're going to have Sweet Tater. I didn't think she was going to be able to come, but she is. Okay, let me send her the link here real quick before I keep going. How is everybody today? Is everybody as upset about all of this stuff as I am? It just blows me away. And all of this stuff was known. Nothing was going to come, nothing was going to happen. I'm starting to kind of see a lot of this stuff in a different light. Not that I'm condoning anything that anybody's done at all. I'm just saying I'm starting to look at these things in a much different light. I don't know how else to say it. Okay, let me get back over here. Banks has been ill for more than 3 years. Okay, so who was running the courtroom? Who was prosecuting these cases? The only assistant Commonwealth attorney that I knew of was Michael Watts Jr. His daddy is Mike Watts, who is our circuit court clerk. Now, I really love his daddy. His daddy has really been, from what I've seen, his daddy's a really good guy. But, I thought other people were good people too. So take that with a grain of salt with anybody. Okay. He recently finished a stay in a nursing home for physical rehabilitation. His office referred calls to his home or cell phone, but he could not be reached at either number. The main case being questioned involves Taylor Pratt. So that means there's more than just one case. But this is the one that must have been the straw that broke the camel's back. But still nothing was ever done about it. So I mean, that's what our officials are used to. Push it off, push it off, push it off, delay, delay, delay. Everybody will go on with their lives and they'll forget, and then we'll push this under the rug, and nobody will have enough nerve to even talk about it. And that's how it usually goes. The main case being questioned involves Taylor Pratt, 23 years old, a CNA who had been living in Banks's home as a caregiver. Now, I know a whole lot of CNAs in Letcher County, a whole lot of them that are reputable and that are good at their jobs and very competent. He didn't need a 23-year-old little girl. He could have chosen someone a little bit more appropriate. You know, that those kinds of things matter. Letcher County Deputy Sheriff Jason Adams arrested her during a traffic stop on April 19th and charged her with possession of Mary Jane, possession of rug paraphernalia, first-degree trafficking in a controlled substance, first offense, 2 grams of meth or more, first-degree possession of a controlled substance, first offense, the big H word, Erewhon. You know what I'm talking about? That's in Whitesburg. She had these in Whitesburg. You don't even have heroin on the street here. At least you didn't back then. Not that I know of. So if she had stuff like that, she was pretty heavy into the scene. First degree possession of a controlled substance, first offense, LSD. And first degree possession of a controlled substance, first offense, rug unspecified. Now it tells, I don't know if it's going to tell in this article or if it's in a different one, but Mickey sent that off to the lab. And Mickey told the paper that when it came back as the big F word, the stuff that's unaliving everybody right now. Well, that's what she had too. She was driving Banks's, allegedly. She was driving Banks's silver Chevrolet Tahoe at the time. She was released, and when you're a Commonwealth attorney, doesn't your tag on the back of your vehicle say official? Like, you don't have a normal tag. You have a tag on your vehicle that I'm pretty sure, if they don't, let me know. But I'm pretty sure everyone I've ever seen has a license plate that lets the police know that they're in law enforcement. Okay, let me get back over here. So she got caught with all of that stuff in Edison Banks's vehicle that she was driving. And what that says to me, that she had all that stuff, is that she didn't think she was going to get pulled over. She never dreamed anybody would pull her over in that vehicle. At least I don't think so. Why else would she be carrying that much? That's awful. She was released on an unsecured $10,000 bond on conditions that she not violate any state, federal, or local laws, make all court appearance, and enroll in and complete 90 days of an inpatient rehab. Banks said at the time that she had been recommended by a friend so he could come home from a nursing home following a heart attack, and he was unaware that she had a rug problem. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Okay, hello, Zelmy. Hello, Sweet Tater.
How you doing? I'm on my phone, so I can't see too good.
Oh, okay, that's all right. I'm reading the old, one of the old articles on Edison Banks's live-in nurse when she got caught with all these rugs. Okay. Banks, none of the attorneys who were concerned about the case would comment publicly about the case, but questioned privately why nothing has happened. Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Steins, whose deputy made the arrest, said his office has not had anything to do with the delay and is ready to proceed. There's no favoritism, no special treatment. We'll indict her just like we do any one of the hundreds we've arrested for Ruggs, Steins said, but that never happened. He said his office is waiting for a prosecutor to be appointed. He and others said they have been told it's been referred to the Bell County Commonwealth's attorney, but there is no entry of appearance for her in the court file, and she would never return any phone calls either. Bell County Commonwealth's attorney, Lisa Fugit, did not respond to a message left with her secretary. But while that case was reported in April, there were 2 more cases that were not discovered at that time. One was a traffic ticket issued by Kentucky State Police 2 days before the Rugg arrest, charging Pratt with driving 26 miles over the speed limit and careless driving. The citation, which was not previously seen, accuses her of driving 90 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone on US 23 in Banks's silver SUV. Trooper Brandon Watts wrote that after stopping the accused, she was asked to exit the vehicle. A hypodermic syringe fell from her lap as she exited. There were syringes in the door and in the console. I also located glass pipes, scales, torch lighters, and more syringes in a backpack. The accused also had Narcan. Now, Narcan is what they give people when they accidentally OD on opioids. She was not arrested or cited for any Ruggs or Rugg paraphernalia offenses. You're joking. While those are the only cases in Letcher County, a statewide search shows she was arrested a year earlier in Pike County for driving under the influence, and she was charged with first-degree possession of a controlled substance, hydrocodone. Well, surely if you'd done a background check, he'd have found all that stuff. He knew exactly what she was and who she was. Nobody can tell me any different. Pikeville Police Department Officer Jay Lawson wrote that he warned her on the roadside, and as he was taking her into the jail, that if she had anything illegal on her person, she'd be charged for it. While being searched at the jail, a green leafy substance was located on her person. She identified it as Mary Jane and said, "The F word. F. That ain't nothing." She was charged with first-degree promoting contraband as a result. After court documents were returned undelivered twice, delaying the case, she filed a change of address with the court, but then failed to appear on April 18th, 2023, 1 day before her arrest at Ermine. She attended pretrial in June in Pike County, and on July 20th, attended court by Zoom. This time, Pike Circuit Judge Howard Keith Hall noted that she was in treatment and that the treatment facility had moved her 4 times and is now moving her further away. I guarantee you that our officials had a hand in that. And I'll say allegedly, but this is what I think. They've got her out of there. Judge Hall wrote that ARC, the rehabilitation center, so they sent her to ARC, who they're in bed with, was to bring her to the next scheduled hearing on September 28th, and that she was to appear in person. Now, I know ARC does not transport you to your court dates. No rehabs transport you. Her current location was unconfirmed at press time. Her case file in the Letcher Circuit Clerk's office shows she completed 110 days of home incarceration. Of course she did, in the April 19th, 2023 case. her attorney, Daniel Dotson. That's one we have not spoke about enough, but we're going to. Her attorney, Daniel Dotson, withdrew from the case August 22nd. Wow. That just blows me away. All right, let's get over here to some of these comments. Hi, Miss Linda. Welcome, 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 Asia Roman. Hello, honey. Denise. Joshua Rivers. I'm here for it. Lil Papa, 196. Are you having trouble there, Zelmy? What's going on?
Well, yeah. I don't have any internet.
Oh, you don't have any internet.
So this cat. Yeah, so I'm on my phone.
Your kitty cat's rubbing your face, ain't she?
Yeah, she's switching her tail on me.
Miss Genevieve, I don't think
I like
anybody.
my animals.
Oh, I know. We love our animals. Yep. Genevieve says, who arrested her while driving that car? Well, it says that Brandon Watts, now he's a state police officer, I'm pretty sure. And man, you talk about attitude. That guy's got a really bad attitude. But let's see if we can see who it was. Did it say when I was reading it? Did anybody else see it? I don't think it said who it was. Because I don't think she was actually arrested until this one time, but then failed to appear one day before her arrest at Ermine. So I'm not sure, honey. I'm not sure who the arresting officer was, but it didn't look like Brandon Watts took her to jail when she got caught with all that stuff. Jason Adams was, there we go. Jason Adams was one of the arresting officers. They used the exclusionary rule to get her out of it. Sherry Gould, glad you're here to give us a local perspective. Thank you. A diamond in the sticks. I don't know much about Ben F., but he don't look like no catch, even if he were to lose weight. I seen of him where he worked picking up the girl out of the chair. Let's see. Yes. You know, I don't think anything was ever done about Miss Pratt. I think she got out of all her charges. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. Miss Betty Spurlock says, hello, girlies. Daniel and Kevin were running buddies, you know, part of the good old boys. Go figure. Yep. I've got some stories, some people's stories that we're going to read. All right. But so that was a situation where Edison Banks, the Commonwealth attorney, now remember he just passed away, and our attorney general, the same one who's all involved in all this investigation, they appointed Matt Butler, who was Judge Kevin Mullins' brother-in-law. They were married to sisters. Kevin was married to a sister, and Matt Butler was married to the other sister. And so they're all related. Okay, and I wanted to read you this. So in the audio recording that we heard yesterday, they were talking about the uncle, that Ben's uncle, that was proposing to one of the victims. Okay, so let's go read this article. And they're trying to kind of keep it on the hush-hush. Hang on, let me go get Bella stopped. Sorry. Shut up. I might have to put her outside, but we'll try. All right. This was September 11th, 2024. Now, I have a source who has told me that this man right here is the brother of Ben's mother. So this would be Ben's uncle, from the source that I have got. And this was just September 11th, 2024. Ben was charged in 2022. A jury has found the chief of Kings Creek Volunteer Fire Department guilty of sexually abusing a minor and recommended the maximum sentence. Robert Wayne Bill Meade was convicted Monday in a half-day trial after Commonwealth's attorney Matt Butler and Assistant Commonwealth's attorney Nick Whitaker played an audio recording for the jury that the 14-year-old victim made when she began to fear for her safety. According to testimony, Meade had told the girl he would pay her $50 to wash the fire truck so she could make money for her 8th grade dance. Once inside the darkened fire department, testimony showed he began making inappropriate comments and groped her under her shirt. The jury deliberated for about 15 minutes before returning a verdict of guilty on the single count of first-degree criminal sexual abuse. Meade did not take the witness stand during the trial, but did take the stand during the sentencing phase, when Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Michael Watts took over the questioning. While on the stand, Meade told jurors he would pray for God to forgive them for convicting an innocent man. The jury took less than 10 minutes to return a sentencing recommendation of 5 years, the maximum allowable under the law. Formal sentencing was set for November 13th. Letcher Circuit Judge James W. Kraft II could ignore the jury's recommendation and probate the sentence for the 81-year-old Meade, but if he accepts the recommendation, law would prevent Meade from being released before completing a sex offender treatment program. There is currently a waiting list for that program, and persons convicted must stay in prison until the program can accept them. Meade is also still facing a misdemeanor contempt of court charge and a felony bail jumping charge after he failed to show up for his trial last week, and Judge Kraft issued a warrant for his arrest. He's being held in the Letcher County Jail pending sentencing. Okay, now you tell me how that is different. That case is different. They at least gave some information on what happened. The Patrick Little case, they've kept so quiet. They won't tell nothing. We've done public records requests for Patrick Little, and you can't get an indictment. You can't get any. Like, we don't want victims' information. I just want to know what the probable cause was to bring the charges, but nobody will tell them. That's what happens when you got friends and connections at the courthouse. They can make things disappear, and they can make things go away. He didn't serve 1 day in jail. Patrick Little didn't. Not 1 day. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that. And now we're going to listen to the audio. Now, the beginning, I'm going to warn you, the beginning of this audio, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on because you can hear Ned Pillersdorf and another cop talking in the background, and you can hear them over Sabrina, and it's the same investigator that we've been listening to. And I'm not sure. We'll just have to listen to it and see how it all goes. But once we get to about the middle of it, they leave the room, and then you can hear it a lot better. So just bear with me, y'all. I've got it turned all the way up, and here we go.
No, and actually, no, he said they not in April, we got off the airplane. No, the kid, no, but the kid, he's a supervisor agent there, like. And Nolly was one of the agents right next to him when they walked out and escorted him off the plane. I think who else was there? You saw no, but they're too late to make that.
When you were in the courthouse with your relations, and that's I'm talking about your sexual relationship, and you said you felt you had to. Was that a had to because of the ankle bracelets, or was that a had to because of the charges? Because you just mentioned you weren't worried about the charges, you were about the ankle bracelets. So the ankle bracelet, so the process of you feeling pressured was pressured because of the ankle bracelet fee, not because of the charges that you already had pending because of the ankle bracelet.
You must know, right? Yeah. We talked about, I don't know about this person, we talked about.
If you couldn't pay for it, you go back to jail for money. No matter what, you could be doing good, clean 14 years. You can't be for a basic.
And the reason I asked this question, I don't know if that ankle bracelet works, because that's a private firm that does that, and I'm not aware of these things. So you're saying that you have that fee, and if you don't pay the fee, you go back to jail. And you didn't have the money to begin with to pay the fee. Why did you, like when you got out, I guess they offer you that, or they say, I can give you an ankle bracelet before you stay in jail. So you was like, I got to get out of jail, so I'm getting an ankle bracelet, and then we'll worry about the money. So then once you got out, then you realized you didn't have the money. You were assigned.
I realized how strict it was, you know what I mean?
You didn't realize all this to begin with. So then Ben is assigned to you by the courts to watch over you because of the ankle bracelet. So you all became knowledgeable of each other. He started flirting with you. You saw that he was flirting with you. You saw an opportunity to flirt back because you didn't have the money, and you thought if you flirted back.
I don't know exactly what, well, no, I don't get her words that you get mad. Maybe I know there wasn't like a computer person.
So you heard rumors that if the other girls had not paid for their what was the rumor that you heard that the girls, what did they do in order not to have to pay? Have sex with you. So you heard that the other girls would have to have sex with him, and he would have to pay for the bracelet. So when he started flirting with you, did you think, all right, if I have sex with him, I don't have to pay for the bracelet because of the rumors? So that instigated the conversations, and then eventually led to what happened in the courthouses. And like I said, I told you before, This is no judgment. I do not look at you at any difference, and I look at that detective. That's not how I work. Because, like I said, they make erasers on pencils because we all make mistakes in life. We all get doing stuff. You got on drugs. Some of us do other things. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. So don't sit here and think that I am looking down on you. That is not the case. Okay.
First of all, she didn't make a mistake. Like, he's saying you saw the opportunity when he started flirting with you. You saw the opportunity to flirt back so you wouldn't have to pay for your ankle monitor. Oh.
Like I told you, I'm here for evidence. I'm here to look at facts, whether it's you or him or anybody else. That's just what my job is assigned, and I take that how it is. So don't feel bad.
And I was when I was doing that, all the time, my person was always, he was doing,
I did put a.
when I realized, because I got trained, it's not house arrest, she got house arrest.
So when you were, so let's go back. So you said that,
Yeah, but I'm one of those guys
you were,
I told my wife, I said, I need to leave.
you saw an opportunity not to pay for the bracelet.
You saw the opportunity not to pay for the bracelet. Do you all hear this the same way that I do? Because I'm going to have to take a blood pressure pill already. And we are 5 minutes and 40 seconds into this interview.
And then once you got it, you and his relationship progressed. Did you have sex with him? Then he took the bracelet off, or did he take the bracelet off at the beginning of the relationship?
Yeah, I took the bracelet off at the beginning. I was like,
So he didn't make you pay fees or anything before you ever even had sex?
Yeah. No.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sex came how much like time frame?
Way later.
Way later?
Like, I was with him like,
I'm not still people 41 and 55.
because like I was happy to find like, I've been fine, you know.
If I retired
I
today,
didn't want to have sex with him because, you
I
know, I
would
didn't.
go in the last.
She said, I didn't want to have sex with him. And all they keep doing, all this detective keeps doing is referring to it as a relationship.
Well, so we're gonna do, I love you.
She's in tears.
He kept me
Clear. With some federal tax on it, but it's below the state
but
threshold.
from that time till,
So I told my wife, I said,
for 6
at
weeks.
some point, I said, I just want to leave, retire.
So
ASAP check and go full-time somewhere
you
else.
started flirting.
Go to school.
You saw an opportunity not to have to pay the bracelet. You continued to flirt with him because of the rumors you heard from other girls that they were flirting and had sex with him. So you thought, did you think that, all right, if I
He's painting a real good narrative, ain't he?
have sex, then I'm not going to have that. But you're saying that didn't happen till after the bracelet had been off for a long period of time.
Right, but he was kissing me with my child and stuff like that.
Okay, but y'all were having a more than a conversation than you would have
And I know
anybody.
exactly what she said, yeah.
Okay. You said something about you really thought this was a lie, you were enjoying it. Is that meaning because you didn't have to have the bracelet on and you were kind of getting to define the rules?
Yeah, like I had realized, and I was like,
That's a silly reason for that.
I was so weird in my mind. What?
And who would do this interview with all them in the background over there? Like, that's unprofessional too.
You know, this is not believable. I'm telling him I'm out driving. That was number one. I'm driving. And right, and I'm like, ain't good lucky, you know, here I'm high leo. Well, I am. But what? I got him like 7 people caught me on charges and has messed with my head.
If you wouldn't have heard those rumors, would you have approached him like you did and flirted with him?
He said, if you hadn't heard those rumors, would you have approached him like you did. We've already heard them say he's the one who did it. What is wrong with this detective? Like, I'm not even going to refer to him as a detective anymore. Because I think the Attorney General's office should absolutely be blown up over these interviews. I'm outraged.
The guy, like, whatever.
We got a conviction there.
I remember
Main guy was pleased.
And,
The Bridgie reference, who was the judge? Judge Ghost was over there.
how you know about that?
Yeah.
You were in a position where you had a lot of answers and a lot of questions, or a lot of questions to ask. You were in a spot where nobody wants to get in trouble, and you saw an opportunity.
You saw an opportunity.
And everything was really so like it's
She's crying. He's got her in tears.
and they don't know how to do it.
But I remember our commissioner at the time.
That's fine. You're fine.
You're fine.
Talking about,
I remember my head, you know,
He says, I only wish that, the state system
Was
had
the-
the same allowance as the federal system.
With his Trump, when that transaction or that relationship take place, was it the same? Was you needing money more than worried about the? Because you said when I talked to you, you said something about you were trying to he would help you out of trouble. Was that help you out of trouble? Does that mean money or does that mean charges?
No, he said he'd have, my charges, that's for my
He just asked her about being, she said she was in trouble, trying to get out of trouble. He said, is that money or is that charges? So now he's trying to say she was trying to get money out of him. Like a streetwalker.
At least
You're in a bad spot.
I learned about that.
Let me tell you something. People in bad spots. People have to do things that you really wouldn't have to. And you look back and think, man, I can't believe the thing that is. That's not just you. It's everybody. We all get spots in our lives where we have to do things, or we think that we have to do things in order to continue to go forward. And I understand that. So you're fine. Don't feel bad. We're just here. We're here to try to figure out all that stuff, and that's fine.
You have to be gone by 57.
Then back, I thought it could be different words, so,
I'm sure of that.
Sure.
So you're saying with these things,
What if multiple agencies?
when that relationship got told to you, being, did he say you need to have a relationship with your wife? He could help you out of it. So then when Bill called you, did you see another opportunity?
You saw another opportunity. I just can't,
You
man.
saw an opportunity to get off house arrest, so you were going to do it.
But they cannot exceed, even with their overtime.
And we gotta get to the details, okay, because that's where I gotta look at it. Because it may not think of something, you may sit there and think, well, that's that's just how it works. When you and Bill started,
He said that he 8 times.
did he flirt with you? You said you was a flirt.
And the other thing going on.
So you,
He said,
did you start flirting back?
that I should have paid for it, or paid when I exceeded that 174.
it was like when the
So, yeah, he made.
Okay, so you didn't flirt back with him. But then how did the arrangement, did you say,
See, she just told him I never flirted back with him. And how many times has he said that on this recording already? That you saw an opportunity to flirt back with him? And she said, I didn't flirt back with him. She said, I did not want to sleep with him.
As a deputy United States Marshal.
what happened?
He got it.
Yes.
I can't remember the exact words.
And I think it makes, I can tell you that 2 years in, my friend that I worked with here, he went down and
So many, he
and on year 2, he
and he he
But
did the whole charge and stuff, but,
which is longer than the FBI or anyone.
he actually only did that, like,
6 figures.
that he
So
was, he grabbed
In the
it,
90,000 range, and when he came off probation, received his
Did you
probation pay, he broke into
tell him that, all right, I'll have oral sex with you, but it's not for free? Did you make any statements like that to him? How did you come up with that arrangement?
he's like, I know you, he said, I know you need some money, let me help you out, let me help you out.
They have all these other stipends for what's called legal law enforcement.
There was no, I wouldn't $50, I mean, I would maybe talking to him, just,
So you just did it, and then you,
It's like
it
25%.
was implied that you're gonna get money back.
Plus 25%, plus a low county pay, which is.
I can't remember how many times you wrote it down. How many times did you say you had?
Yeah, I've got 4 kids.
3. Okay, so that was the first time. Didn't at the second time, did you see an opportunity to get money so you would call him?
no, I
You know, we don't live in an area.
You would just wait till he called you?
yeah. He said,
But what I'm saying, did you ever have to, like, all right, I need groceries, I need to call him, or I need to go see him to get some money?
no.
Myself.
It was always him approach you.
Yeah, I mean, because he's on all the time, all the time.
Also you.
The personnel cabinet.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to call him.
No.
All right, any of those times, those 3 or 4 or more,
It would be silly to give that.
did you, when he called, you needed money, so you went and met him, right? Because you were in a bad way at that point in time, not now. Bad, okay.
He's young. He's
I live in my car.
Is Barbara still there? Barbara is still there.
He was about
Barbara's probably on her 29th year with us, 28. Who else is there? She just transferred downstairs. We got Alex
almost
Garcia.
like that for 2 years.
Everybody's using that.
And, you know,
There's nobody left.
I didn't have no kids, I bet he never went on him.
In the last 2 years, there's no
If I
prosecution.
can't remember, I only got $100.
We lost Sean to cancer.
And I'm trying to walk in your shoes here to try to think of, you know, because I wasn't there obviously, so I need to try to, so when you, those first initial contact with Ben, and you started flirting, or you said he started flirting with you, what were the flirts?
And then you started flirting. Do you see how he does that? You started flirting and then he changes it. Well, he started flirting with you. Well, what were the flirts? I mean, this guy, man, and just think of how many investigations he's investigated on. Which cases was he the lead detective on?
To me, how pretty it was. He would like to have somebody like me. Things like that,
So when you saw that, then that's when you realized, hang on, I've heard rumors.
Yeah.
This is my opportunity not to have to pay my bills.
This is my opportunity.
At that point,
This is my opportunity. I can be used and abused.
if you thought that, did you feel pressure then?
Sorry.
Or you just felt this is an opportunity?
No, for pressure, he's letting that jail, that,
Meets
that's
criteria.
what's causing us to do a lot.
You'll successfully be prosecuted, but.
And I knew that if I didn't have that $85, I'm going back to jail, it didn't matter.
So,
Okay.
in less
When I said pressure, I understand you felt pressure to go back to jail.
then they'll either assign
If
it
you
out.
started flirting with him, you didn't, I'm talking about, you didn't feel pressure from him. You felt pressure from going back to jail. But you didn't feel pressure from him.
And right
That's what I'm saying. The conversations y'all are having, you didn't feel pressure between you and the deputy. It was pressure from you and, I don't want to go back to jail, right? Is that?
They are one in the same. You didn't feel pressure from the deputy. You felt pressure because you didn't want to go back to jail. Well, we've already heard them say that if they said no, he took them to jail anyway. They are connected. They are together.
Is that how you're explaining it to me? Okay. I'm just trying to put my feet in your shoes. And
He ain't trying to do nothing.
And coming up.
So she.
But figure out how to get his buddy off. And it probably is somebody he don't even know. I bet he didn't even know Ben Fields. That's how bad this is. That's how bad that thin blue line is.
She's got all
But
that.
like I said, I've heard rumors, and, you hear rumors about stuff like that all the time. I've seen it.
So really, through this process, the pressure that you were talking about earlier, in the conversation was pressure because you didn't want to go to
This
jail.
area, he's just pretty good to spew.
Did the deputy ever put pressure on you, or was that pressure that you felt from the jail, the conversation? Because that's what I was saying earlier, in the conversation, I didn't see, you know, I saw a conversation between two adults.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I did not heard.
But I also knew that, you know, I didn't have that. It wasn't personally, you know what I mean? But I knew that his job to do, and I didn't have it for
So it was pressure from the situation, not necessarily pressure from him, is that what you said? Okay.
And I went to the court and I'd asked him, and I told him I believe I told him from the.
You think we go in there and say, "Mom, you don't put your kid in here, I'm sorry." I don't know about you, but I'm an old guy and I can't hear.
I'm getting that way because I feel bad.
I hear, of course, the Shannon's got he's a loud boisterous person, so I can't hear.
You know, when
So,
I got out and you know, saying the house work thing, how it worked, it wouldn't let me work. How am I gonna pay for this, you know, at first? So I tried to do the right thing, I was making motions, get me to court, hey, you know, I've seen it coming, you know, I was not gonna take this resident, you know. What's the drug addict do? You know, I seen it. I've been clean 18 years. And I tried to do the right thing again. You know, I made motions. Please let me go. I'll keep the rest of the stuff. Pay for it. Help me. Somebody help
because you
me.
didn't have money.
I have money. I have nobody help me. And then say, well, if you don't have money, you have to choose something again.
So let's go back over this again. Of course, we just stepped away from that and they're talking like you. So you're saying that Jen started flirting with you. You had heard rumors about other women having sex with men in order to get out of the bracelet fee. So when he started flirting with you, you said that you saw an opportunity not to pay the fee because you didn't have any money.
Because I said, I don't have money.
So you said in your mind,
I said that to him.
you told him that.
Yeah, yeah. He said, we'll figure out things. And I said, drug addict. I'm gonna look for that opportunity.
$85, that's a lot.
That was the most traumatizing thing I've ever been.
And then you were saying the pressure you felt wasn't from the deputy during your all's relationship, like during the sex. You didn't feel pressure from the deputy to have sex with the deputy. You felt pressure because you didn't want to go back to jail.
Right, and I knew, and you know, he had a job to do. I didn't have to, he would push for him. I was going to have a job to do. You know, and if I kept paying this.
Okay, you just said he didn't pressure you,
No.
but he had a job to do.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I said. That was his job to do. And I got that, you know. And I said, I wouldn't let him anything.
If
And he seemed like a nice guy. Like I could talk to him.
your boyfriend wouldn't have found out, that's what brought this all to head, right? This is what you said. If he wouldn't have
Yeah,
found.
actually, he didn't know for sure he was having. But being, when he went to drug court that day, when that happened, Judge Craig said that he got a mysterious phone call the night before that means it was again. I had told him that Brittany, you know, like a couple days from that, you know, I was actually going to tell. Well, he got this mysterious phone call with me and Olivia. And he's like, you know, she's convicted of one. He's like, we don't live together. And so he, well, I told you about it. And so they had, you know, got me in. That's what my court is.
If he wouldn't have found this out and this all came to a head, would you still be on your ankle bracelet program?
Yeah, twice.
So you and Ben, would you all still be probably having a relationship? Would you all would still be normal?
would you still be having a relationship? She's told him how many times that she did not want to do it.
You think?
Yeah, until I, I've done anything until that trial came.
Until the what came?
My trial came, and
You were gonna do anything until the trial came.
Yeah.
And that's because to your trial, you're still on the ankle bracelet. So once your ankle bracelet left, were you gonna, that would have been the end of your old relationship?
absolutely. He's married that, and I hate that. Because I've been, it was hard in my life. Even I hate, I mean, I've 18 years I cheated on her. I can imagine what she's going through. And I hate that.
That bothers you that you all had this relationship to
I
her.
do,
This poor girl sitting there saying how bad she felt for Ben's wife. When Ben's wife probably knew everything that he was doing and helped him cover it up, allegedly.
I can imagine. And then out there, papers, my heart breaks for her. That's the first time I've ever been.
Why does your heart break for her?
I've been home. It cheated on. And then I had that advertising in the paper. I mean, embarrassment on her, embarrassment on, all the me and especially the women, Ben knew. I didn't realize how he knew what he was doing. He'd done it before, and I didn't realize that. I don't know, and that kissed me. I was that young,
But like you said, you saw an opportunity.
I did. I saw an opportunity, and if it was the same opportunity, I'd take it here. I didn't know what else to do.
So you're saying that if you go tonight and get arrested, and same opportunity came, you would do this again?
If I was homeless, in that position.
In that position, of not having money and
Yes. In a strange county, I didn't know what to do. No idea. And I've done the best I could. And it was and I feel guilty for that, and I struggle with that. But I also know he knew what he was doing. He was right. He was very right. I'm telling you, I'm a man for not driving. That's not right. And that's just my head so bad because I thought he was a good guy.
So when he started flirting with you, you thought he was a good guy. You didn't think that. But
he said, yeah, he was a good guy. He was like, I'll get you in the rehab. When you took that first off, so I could go to rehab.
But also at that point, though, did you think, all right, because you told me you see an opportunity to not have to, virtually to get out of trouble while you're in trouble, I guess, because of the ankle bracelet.
This is the Matt Easter guy, y'all. I remember him saying his name. He's the Easter fella. And this is the biggest disgrace. Disgrace!
At what point did you think that this was a good guy?
I don't know, the way he talked, like he talked like he got to him for that. And really, he wanted to go cheating on certain wife.
Ben seemed like a really nice guy. I said yesterday, I had met him before down at the courthouse. He seemed like a really nice guy. He's not a ladies' man at all. So it's very shocking to me that he turned out to be this big of a creep.
This man.
And she wasn't from here either.
That's why they put a racial on this.
Yeah, when I sit and I think back, I thought,
Don't beat yourself up. It happened, but you're more moved forward.
right.
You obviously seem to be doing better than you were.
I got home and
So it's, it's 1 foot forward, and that's what you got to do.
I wanted.
Is there anything else that you want to tell me? And like I said, non-judgmental. Do not judge you any different. Not judge somebody walked through the door today.
He keeps telling her he's not judging her. What, for being a victim? You shouldn't be judging her as a victim.
Nothing to me. I look at the evidence. I look at what I can do to try to look at this case, and then I pull it together, and I give it to supervisors, and they go to prosecutors, and then it goes above my head. And
I think if you look at, I don't worry about it because I know the truth will come out, and they'll probably figure out a lot more that goes with that, that goes higher up. And,
well, like I said, I'm not gonna make you a promise today that there's gonna be somebody smoking and dying or something, the next thing you know, Mr. Fields is going to jail.
I know what I want with it. I know is I want to.
This is Sabrina Adkins. In her interview and in Jennifer's interview, Jennifer Hill, they both say this very same thing. They just don't want it to happen to anybody else.
That's what it's a fuck me up. That maybe, I've been very upset about that. Ex-husband who's like to kill me, and it is different. And I thought that was my calling. Maybe this is, I could help somebody else.
She said she thinks this is her calling.
Another lady, not their food. Shit went in my head. I won't go out after dark. I got home last night. It was for 25 minutes. Scared me out.
She sat in her driveway for 25 minutes because she was scared to get out of her car. She's terrified.
If I can help you, I don't know what I want. I don't.
Like I said, we'll look at the evidence, and I'm not familiar with anybody in that county, so we're not. It doesn't make any difference if I live there or not. I work for the Attorney General. He stands for what is right, and it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the Pope.
I was state trooper with Ken of mine, ex-husband's girlfriend, and she said, "Go out and talk to him." Gets me like, I was so terrified. And so I come back and I come back.
Obviously, we're here.
I know, I'm so thankful.
But I want you to understand, like I said,
I don't want to come. You'll see the facts.
That's right. We look at facts and then it goes, and then whatever happens, happens.
I prayed, and I'm grateful just for this. I'm so grateful. So that's all I want. It's true, I can see it. It's not that one.
Well, I think that what you told me today is really, looking for the messages. We'll look at some more. Obviously, there's tons more on that. But I think I see, like I said, you saw an opportunity. And that was at the beginning, right? So we'll see what the message is. And you say see the facts. Are you talking about the messages?
Yeah, and
What other facts?
like in how I think you start looking into it, you see other women and other women. Okay.
Hit that like button, y'all.
Power. And he said even there shouldn't be no flirting anyway at all because he's his position.
We walked outside the room.
I apologize.
Shannon, because I can't hear. I explained that to her.
Yeah, Mr. Billy broke something he had.
Conversation. I want to go ahead and bring you back up to speed, Shannon, if you want to. Explain to me, and I'll go kind of.
Now, this is good. Now he's going to try and relay and get this other cop up to speed, or this other investigator or detective or whatever he is, up to speed with where they're at. Big guess on how he retells it?
Don't come back over here. I can hear you better.
Okay.
Jan's got a big mouth. I can hear him from over there. You're kind of quiet.
So now we go on.
All right. So I'm gonna try to do the abbreviation here to get him up to speed.
This investigation is already over. This was the investigation into Ben Fields. So these interviews were done, and he took a plea bargain. He admitted to everything. I think he was the patsy. I think he was the fall guy for everybody. I mean, he was doing his own dirt, but once they got the conviction and the plea bargain from him, they didn't go no further. They didn't go no higher. Nobody else was implicated in any of this except for the civil lawsuit through Ned Pillersdorf that brought Mickey in as Ben's employer.
She says what's happened here is she's got arrested in Letcher. They gave her an opportunity to get out of jail or to get on a home ankle bracelet. So, and at any point stop me and either fill in or say, hang on. So she gets there and she's like, all right, I got to get out of jail, which we all would do that. And I'll figure out how to worry about the ankle bracelet when I get it. So we get the ankle bracelet and then she realizes it's $85 a week that she has to pay. And if she doesn't pay that,
You go and report in every Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
we don't pay this, we go back to jail. So she's then assigned to deputy, Mr. Ben Fields, right? And Ben Fields is his name. So they become in a relationship as in he starts flirting with her by saying, you're a pretty lady, similar stuff like that.
Yeah.
Miss Atkins says that she sees an opportunity. She's in a bad spot. She's on drugs. They want to go back to jail because jail is bad, and I can never been there, but I understand that. So we're in a bad spot for her life.
I
So
already heard rumors about Ben.
she had heard rumors about Ben taking care of other women's ankle bracelets because they had sex with him. So she's told me that she saw an opportunity to get out of the ankle bracelet, not out of the charges that were pinned in, out of the ankle bracelet fee. She's not worried about the charges. She can stand on her own 2 feet about that.
See, he's putting this blame on her. Like she's the one who saw the opportunity and she approached him.
But she was worried about the ankle bracelet.
Because she's
So
a drug
She saw an
addict.
opportunity to get out of that because of the rumors she heard. So then she started flirting back with Mr. Fields, and then the relationship progressed.
The
To the point
relationship
of
progressed.
sex in the judge's chambers. And at that
Wow.
point, the boyfriend, is that right? He found out about this relationship.
Well, he knew that Ben didn't make me wear my bracelet. But I always denied any kind of relationship. I said, he was trying to help me be a good guy. So, I mean, they have told me I didn't have a bracelet. But when you go in drug court, and she started to say I had been.
And one other piece, if you didn't join us yesterday, we found out through these recordings that the woman who's over the drug court is Ben's sister, Holly.
And he said, I tell you exactly what he said, and he did. He said the exact same thing. But of course, I denied it. I said, no, they ain't done me that way. But that's when he started talking to me, and he's like, I know you had sex with him. I was like, no.
So he finds out, starts getting mad, right? So at that point, then she tells Mr. Fields, all right, the gig's up, I guess, somewhat. We just got caught.
I'd certainly tell. And I had a piece of that thing, I didn't know who this girl was. And I said, you know this girl, and Ben's a nice summer. I'm not familiar, so I'm like, okay. I was like, well, I just want you, I said, I don't think he will. This is on the queen. He is. I said, but, just in case. Yeah, I heard, you really know that. You know what I mean? Something. I don't know what to do. I said, I'm sure, there's going to be fine. Just why I didn't know that was giving him a great detail. And the details he gave me exactly.
And what was her name? And she works for drug court?
No, she's in drug court.
She's in drug. She's a
She used to be a hospital.
How do you think she knew everything?
She used to be a hospital. And everything.
So you think?
And I guess she told you, oh, yeah, same thing happened. She told her, not pinned her, but, so this all kissed her, and it was a thing. And so she told me.
Once you told Ben this, we've been caught, and is that when your and Ben's relationship quit?
No. Yes, the drug court, and then we seriously get that phone call, and then he was living together. Ben still calling me. At that point, I didn't know what was going on because they issued an EPO. Men are not supposed to talk. It's not so much that I mean, they got, I have never heard of some things of like 6 months. Because I mean, we're not really know what's going on. Well, we've been together 7 years, and he's not kind of loving or anything. We're not going to stop talking. No, I'd say that. So We have.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Thomas Scott, and that, but yeah, he called me back. What, you know what, I said, what the hell? Cause I was really sick, like, that's my landlord, and his wife would bring me business, I couldn't even get off the couch before I was so sick. And, you know, when I was able to do it, I told him, what the hell are you doing? What is going on? You know, why do I have to go to jail for EPA? What the hell? And he was like, but they got a serious phone call, and I, you know, it was, I was like, oh my God. I'm being, nice, and, but he hadn't even changed the address, but he still had it listed as mine. And I was concerned because I was in like my text messages, I give you my address for the days.
So we're up to the point now, like I said, you have now had a falling out over Ben.
Yeah.
So did you quit talking to Ben, or did Ben quit talking to you? At some point, that conversation, your all's relationship
Yeah.
stopped.
Thursday before I went to jail, the first time I talked to him, he called. Now, Thursday, because I faxed paper from the hospital Friday, and he quit answering. I was texting and calling him.
And then the warrant came down for escape.
Yeah. He told me I had a warrant before he quit talking to me, but he said he was over there, yeah.
So he told you you had a warrant, but it was for an EPO, not escape.
Yes. He said, you need to come turn this stuff in. I said, well, I've got COVID restriction. I said, Ben, I'm sick. I said, I really am sick. And he's like, I'll tell him, but I don't think it's going to help. I said,
What do you think prompted the escape charge?
I think Ben was, he didn't think I'd ever contact and turn. And I'd be going to jail, and he's going to believe me. You know, they sent me back to Letcher County Jail. And take the escape charge. And I didn't have the insurance, I just had the other lawsuit. Three events happened. So things happened differently. When 60 times, you want to go over a charge.
He was covering his butt. That's why he got the escape charge. She told him that her boyfriend found out about it, and he was trying to cover his tail. It's the same thing he did to that other woman, only she turned him down, and he put her in jail. And he put her in jail until she finally agreed to do it. So it was either you stay in jail or you have to do this. There's no choice in that.
So once you two, or can you start having trouble, did that cause you to have trouble with Ben, or are you and Ben still pretty friendly?
Friendly.
He started calling me.
What caused you and Ben, though, to quit talking?
I don't know. He just quit. I honestly, and this is in my head, I don't know. That was his way out. Escape.
That was his way out.
He didn't know what else to do. They had them said women hit him with escape. They get thrown in jail. Everything's been a nice guy because he talks to you nice and friendly, and usually this guy's going to help you. Most people don't go to attorney.
She said he's nice and friendly. He talks to you real nice and friendly, and you think he's a nice guy.
Just, it traumatized me that bad. I would cut my throat up saying being pregnant. That's what traumatized. And I've been not doing that since I got in jail. I could do my jail. That's what traumatized me. To him, I think that because in case he was escape, he thought he would get me to come over and turn myself in. You know, escape from military, there's nobody can believe me. That was awful. No, I'm just such a, no specific. So that was his way out.
But you, and I'm going to go back and ask this again, is you found out, and that's what brought you to tell Ben Stacy's found out. If you all were doing good and everything was fine, what caused Ben all of a sudden to go get a warrant? Did you quit talking to Ben? You know, at this whole point in time, you and Ben are still talking,
Right.
so he still had knowledge of where you were at.
Yeah.
And is there any point that you just quit talking to him and he had no knowledge where you were for 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, I texted him to the down. He just quit talking.
Did he say anything why or
No, no, he acted normal. He said, one of the last ones he said was to tell him, house arrest or something, I don't know. Make sure I take the court papers in. I've got my son. Make sure, that he's in there. I haven't heard from him yet. Never, and I called, and not only did I call, I had just keep calling. I mean, everybody was calling, hey, she's not trying to escape, and Letcher told me somebody didn't have a warrant. Then when somebody else had a warrant, for EPO, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And, he told the judge, he's like, I really don't want to get involved, but, he also, he knows what had been to now, and he's like, oh, sister, you've done so much better.
so then you get arrested, you're in jail in Letcher again.
No,
And is that when you contact an attorney?
I called Bethany right before I got arrested.
Because you knew the warrant.
I never had a warrant, and I didn't know what for, didn't know what to do. Ben wouldn't answer me, I didn't know what to do. I'd been sick with COVID, I had an excuse, I said, what did you say to me, before we on a Wednesday or something?
Do you know, when you say,
That's what he said. He said that he had said that I was non-compliant. And he said, when you get that excuse, he said, it'd be no big deal. I said, non-compliant for what? I said, I ain't with you on a Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And
So he said she was non-compliant, and that's why she was put back in jail. And she said, non-compliant for what? This is how they play with people's lives down there. They can put you in and out of jail anytime they want. Like, they had control over how many people, how many women were they doing this to? Because I got some really good, juicy info that we're going to talk about here in a minute. We're going to do several different videos on some of this stuff. But there's a lot. They were doing some really, really bad things down there for a long time that a whole lot of people knew about and were taking part in.
I didn't know until the city police listened to me that it was an escape secretary. I had no idea.
it isn't, but you had already contacted your, prior to going.
Yeah, like he wouldn't wait 2 hours. Thank God.
Did you know an escape charge at that point at the 2 hours? You just knew that somebody, who do you think had got an EPO warrant on you? You thought you were getting ready to go to jail because of did you think you were getting ready to go to jail because of the ankle bracelet or because of...
Because Ben told me the judge issued a warrant because to the EPO. So I thought I was in jail over an EPO. That's what Ben told me.
She didn't even know what she was in jail for.
Why did you contact your attorney?
And this is the several times he has referred to her getting an attorney. And that's what I went through. When I hired an attorney, and I hired Ned Pillersdorf, he was my attorney. As soon as I hired an attorney, it made them everyone madder than fire, and they come at me with both barrels blazing.
I'm missing that.
Well, he called, and I was like, what? Or I might have called him for who knows. I said, what the hell? I mean, I'm testing.
That's her right to hire an attorney.
He's like, and he tells me what goes on. And he said, now this is what goes on. They get a phone call. He said, your boyfriend, me and most of the call. He said, they get a phone call, this will happen. I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? He said, what about, he's called Bethany, the attorney. I was like, okay, I'll do it. I didn't know what, I was at my wits end.
Okay, going back to jail. I understand that. So let me get this straight. You elaborated a little bit more there. So he contacts you and says, this is what happens when being calls, it's a warrant for escape.
No, I didn't know what still at that point there was a warrant for escape. I was still confused. what?
You just knew that Ben's got a warrant on you.
Yes.
So calls and says, all right, this is how it's happened with other girls. Ben gets warrants on you.
Yeah, he's like, I almost got, she's got to go to court, it's been about 8 years, so, so we're arguing over this.
So Ben gets a warrant, tells you Ben's got a warrant on you, right?
No, Ben told me he's got a warrant.
Ben told you, okay. So then you contact her to contact you.
I think I contacted him.
So you contact you thing, and well, that's how this works.
No, he said, this is what, he said, there you go, boyfriend, Ben's lying. He said, this is, because I'm thinking that, he did all this. He went to the drug court that day and started in. He said, no, you go, boyfriend. He said, I got there, and he said, Judge Chris, how you doing? And I said, doing great. He said, well, I got a little phone call about you last night.
So then at that point, you realize Ben's just double crossed you. Is that how you felt?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's, he's trying to save his ass. And I get that. He's caught.
So now,
I'm taking notes. I have for him.
so now your opportunity that you saw earlier is not working. So are you thinking, all right, I've done this, and now you went and got a warrant on me. I'm going to go to jail. So you feel like I've got to contact an attorney because I don't want to go back to jail.
Yeah, he wouldn't answer.
Because Ben wouldn't answer the
No,
phone.
he just say, no. I was like, what's the matter? Why didn't you answer me? And I was like, I called him down. I mean, I didn't just go straight to attorney. You can see, I got Ben, what the hell's going on? I called the clerk's office over there. I called everybody over there. And Kevin Mullins, I had 2 courts by Zoom with him. And one was with the EPO. And I said that when we went off the thing, and I never knew Kevin Mullins said that, even me, boy, that girl's in some big trouble. She got a big one for her. But he didn't say what. And I went, what? So, like I'm calling everybody, because somebody help me, please. I'm not in Turner Brown. I'm, what do y'all, I'm here, I'm doing reports, I'm sick. And I can't explain to them, I'm not letting, check in at 4, Wednesday at 3 or 4. I've not done that in so long, petrified.
She was begging people to help her. She was begging people to help her. Like, where did anybody have to go? Where did anybody have to turn?
She said earlier when you and Ned were talking that if she wouldn't have found out and this blow up wouldn't have happened between her and Ben, that her and Ben's relationship would have continued up until trial for her charges.
I mean, for that concern.
For the ankle bracelet, and she said that once she got off the ankle bracelet through the courts, she was going to end the relationship with her and Ben because she didn't need Ben anymore.
From what I hear, that you usually don't get a hit with escape.
You don't get hit with escape through court.
Nobody really made it to the court. He hit them with escape before him. And my thing was this: I throw this thing out there to get to April. That was my problem. And
Have you had any contact with Ben since your escape charge? You've been arrested. Have you tried to contact him? And he's not tried to contact you?
And see, that's how he did it. He hit her with that escape charge, and then he backed off. That's how he got his way. That's how he's got himself out of these situations with these women. And then they go off to jail or prison or rehab or wherever they go. And he moves on to the next. That's what it looks like to me.
How about any of his family?
his Uncle Bill,
What did he say?
he said that it's personal stuff that it needs to be. I need to tell you guys that nothing happened. And don't sign nothing, said. Don't sign nothing. Anyway, nothing happened, and that was between them.
When did you get that call? When that
Second Monday from 26th Monday. That's what I did. What is today?
8.
That's what I did Thursday. Friday. Thursday.
But you can't have one from around here. They're all friends. Well, and we've got another article I'm going to read too that came out in the paper. I think they dismissed the civil case against the ankle monitoring company. So I think if I read that correctly, I think they've dismissed it against the ankle monitor company. So the only people left will be Mickey Steins and the Ben.
This past Thursday, which had been,
Last Thursday would have been the 3rd, February 3rd.
do you have a phone number for, Bill? Both.
For Bill, would that be Bill Meade? Question mark? I don't know.
What's, Ben, do you have a phone number for him? Oh, can you bring his Facebook up and I see a picture of him?
I don't think he has a picture of the truck. They may be.
Do you have a picture of him? Let me just say that.
There might be a picture on here. No, I could look at his license, but $8.
Yeah, I've got everything turned off on that one.
We'll turn it right back on too.
Is that it?
Yeah, but he doesn't.
But that's him?
Yeah.
Okay, you can turn everything back off then. He didn't sign that with us. Do you want this little thing by Bob or on the back?
Let me have my son, we'll fix my own back. He's like, where are you before you go?
No, absolutely, good talk.
Me and my boy said we have very similar relationship. His husband brought me down. Okay, you get on really well.
Oh, that's good.
You got that? Yeah.
Hey, the more people get along with you in this world, the better.
I was down 100%. More big on the stage.
Like I said, unless something changes, about 8:45 Thursday morning, I get these phones back here, meet me back here. He's gonna be here, so you won't have to come in.
I didn't turn it, I didn't give a chance to turn it from over to the dog again. So,
Okay, I'll go back
the
in.
person's gonna.
Here's my card.
Okay.
Got my cell phone on there. You got it? I'll take these phones, get them downloaded, and like I told her, when we stepped off this little side room, we didn't make any promises on what charges. We'll be fine. We look at evidence. It goes above my head. So don't expect something, but don't disrespect
I
something.
don't have no expectations.
But in the same sense, I want you to understand that we're here to look at everything. We'll see what we come up with. And no judgmental towards you. I understand you were in a bad spot anyway around, no matter what happened in this situation. It was a bad walk for you, and I'm sorry for that.
Because I really try to get these courses and do the right thing and get the help.
Well, if you don't have any questions for me at 8:45, 8:45, Thursday be here, and we'll get you these phones back, and then I would probably suggest that you don't tell anybody about our conversations, because the more that gets said, the harder it is for us to investigate stuff. So what people don't know, can be beneficial to Shannon and I to be able to try to go in places and talk to people. Well, ma'am, I appreciate your time, and we will see you Thursday morning. I'll get some facts with you, okay? You're very welcome. I get it. No, I don't feel bad. Yes. I got a block here. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day. It's February 8th, 2022. Present with myself, Detective Easter, Shannon Blevins with the Attorney General's office. We were talking to a time is 12:55. Did not get to prep the recording, but this is the end of the recording.
So that was February 8th that recording was done. February 8th. So that one was before the other one that we heard. Man, oh man, oh man. Such a sad, sad thing. Okay, let's read this. I found this while we were listening to that. Okay, this is the article that came out February 2nd, 2022. So this came out, 6 days before that recording we just listened to. A Letcher County deputy sheriff has been suspended pending investigation after an inmate filed a federal civil rights lawsuit claiming that he coerced her to have schmecks with him. Sabrina K. Adkins, 45, of Pikeville, filed the suit in U.S. District Court in Pikeville 5 days after Pikeville police arrested her on a second-degree warrant filed by the deputy, Ben Fields. Adkins claims in the suit that Ben Fields, a court security deputy for the Letcher County Sheriff's Department, removed her ankle monitor and did not make her pay for it, and allowed her to continue home incarceration while awaiting trial on rug charges. She claims he placed the monitor back on her leg on days that she had to appear in court. She said in the lawsuit that he flirted and eventually had smecks with her 6 times in the chambers of District Judge Kevin Mullins after the courthouse was closed at night and before it opened in the morning. She does not accuse Mullins of knowing about the alleged incidents. Adkins filed suit against Fields and Sheriff Mickey Steins, saying that Steins failed to adequately train and supervise Fields. Steins said Tuesday that he had not been served with the lawsuit and knew nothing about it until a reporter for the Louisville Courier-Journal called him on Monday, the day the suit was filed. I have not been officially served, Steins said. Mr. Fields has been suspended without pay, and I have referred any criminal investigation to the Kentucky State Police. His position with house arrest is a contract position and has nothing to do with the sheriff's department. See, I told you it was an independent contracting job. It's a 1099. But Mickey had it before. Mickey had the contract. And see, he had it before he became sheriff, when he was just bailiff. for Judge Mullins. Mickey did all of the house arrest, ankle monitors. Anyone that knows me knows I do not condone these types of actions by anyone, especially an employee. The complaint filed this week gives only one side of the case. Since the suit was filed on Monday, no answer has yet been filed in court by Fields or Steins. Adkins said the incidents occurred beginning in June 2021, after she was released from jail following her arrest in April of that year. Adkins had been charged in 3 indictments with first-degree possession of a controlled substance, meth, third-degree possession of controlled substance, public intoxication, and 2 charges each of bail jumping and being a persistent felony offender. Man. And that's the end of that article. Okay, so let me pull this up and see. I think this is the one off from Alicia Congleton. Yeah, anybody that has been watching us for a little while, you know that we read a lot of these articles. And I just found the article on the other civil rights case that was filed by Alicia Congleton. She used to be a deputy with the sheriff's department under Danny Webb. And because she campaigned for another person and not Mickey, when Mickey won, he did not keep her on as a deputy, and she filed a civil rights civil suit against him too. So this is actually the second federal lawsuit that Mickey has had against him. Let's see what it says. This was July 22nd, 2020. A federal judge has dismissed the civil rights case filed by a former deputy against Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Steins. U.S. District Judge Karen Caldwell signed the order dismissing the suit filed by Alicia Congleton last year. Congleton, who was a sergeant with the Letcher County Sheriff's Department when Danny Webb was sheriff, claimed in the suit that Steins had failed to rehire her when he took office because she had openly campaigned against him. The suit claimed that Steins violated Congleton's rights under the First Amendment and the 14th Amendment, but the judge said she did not find enough evidence to support the case. Caldwell said in her ruling that while Congleton was engaged in protected political speech, she could not prove that was the reason she wasn't rehired. Caldwell said she present affidavits from 2 other deputies, Eugene Sloan and Barry Engel, both of whom ran for sheriff and lost, and there was nothing in the affidavits showing that Steins refused to rehire her because of her political activities. While the Engel and Sloan affidavits are evidence that Steins was irritated and upset about Congleton's speech against him, they are not evidence that her political activity was a substantial or motivating factor in Steins's failure to hire Congleton as a deputy, Caldwell wrote. Neither Engel nor Sloan provide a causal link between Steins's irritation with Congleton's speech and his failure to hire her. Steins had asked for a summary judgment in the case, and Caldwell agreed. The case was dismissed against Steins personally and in his official capacity as sheriff. And then denies all claims. Let me go back up here and go to the home page, and we'll look and see. They have, I think what they have done is they've put a new judge in for Mickey's next court date. Let me see if I see it in here. I was reading it. We read that article yesterday, but there's another one. Here it is. Settlement conference set for February 11th in sheriff's suit. A settlement conference has been set for February 11th in a lawsuit filed by two women who claim they were AR'd, that was yesterday, by a former deputy while they were on home incarceration. The two say in their suit that Ben Fields, who was a court security officer and worked a side job supervising persons under home arrest, let them have electronic monitors free and didn't turn them on in exchange for schmecks. Fields was also charged criminally and pleaded guilty to third-degree R-word, third-degree S-word, otomy, 2 counts of tampering with a prisoner's monitoring device, and second-degree perjury. Well, what about false imprisonment and making false claims? Like when he turned it in to other people, like that's, I don't even know what that's called. I'm no lawyer, but I'm pretty sure he committed a whole lot more offenses than just those. The 3 charges related to the second woman were dismissed because she is now deceased. And that's very suspicious for me as well, because they say that she passed from some sort of an OD of some kind. But, you know, the way that the substances are nowadays, like there's a woman, or is it in Utah or whatever, Corey Richens, she put stuff in, allegedly put the big F word that's unaliving everybody. She put that in her, allegedly her husband's drink. And so it's not a great stretch to think that someone could have harmed this other victim. You know, I don't know. There's no, they've never said anything about foul play. So, you know, they sure ain't looking for it. But I would want to have another independent pathologist do an independent autopsy. That's what I would do. The court cases do not specify how she passed. U.S. Magistrate Judge Edward B. Adkins held a telephone conference with the parties on Monday at their request. Adkins granted a motion by the attorney for Eastern Kentucky Correctional Services to withdraw from the case. Oh, no. They didn't let the company, they didn't dismiss the charged case against the company. They just allowed their lawyer to withdraw from the case. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was wondering why they would let the monitoring company off the hook, but they didn't. They just let the lawyer withdraw. For 10 a.m. February 11th at the federal courthouse in Pikeville. So that's the end of that one. Let's see if there was another one that I wanted to read. Let's go back over here and see what everybody's saying. A diamond in the sticks. When I was in jail at Letcher County back in 2014 for 5 hours, it was a big curly-haired I had to undress in front of. She gave a real, she looked stout. She could, woman handled me with no problem. Goes over his head. 2 foot ain't that far, and 6 feet ain't either. She didn't have to have schmacks. He ended up locking her up anyways. She had some responsibility in this too, y'all. Well, I think she was put in a very, very bad position. And, that is what one of them, I think it was Jennifer Hill, said in that interview that we heard the other night. She said that she went ahead and did it, but it didn't matter because she did it to not go back to jail, but he ended up putting her back in jail anyway. So, she was danged if she did and danged if she didn't. I'm sure not gonna put her down or anybody else for being in that situation and trying to choose the lesser of two evils. Yeah, don't tell anyone you twisted her words big time. Yeah. Yeah, don't speak, but I'm going to run my mouth all over the courthouse and make jokes on you later. Didn't realize how bad kangaroo crap really stinks until now. That's great. I love that. So the interviews were from two different women. Yes. Well, they both stood their grounds good. Seemed smart to me. Both of them said, if this can help stop him from doing this to anybody else. Both of them said that. And both of them wanted accountability. They wanted accountability. But it looks to me like, and you notice there ain't nobody coming out refuting any of this stuff. You don't have the state police. You don't have the sheriff's department. You don't have anybody at the courthouse. You don't have the Commonwealth's attorney's office, the county attorney's office. You don't have the Kentucky Attorney General's office. You don't have the governor. You don't have anybody coming out in defense of any of this stuff or even trying to say any of it's not true. You don't have anybody speaking up. Nobody. You don't have the Attorney General's office speaking up in defense of their investigation. You don't have anybody coming out in defense of these interviews, which they're just now being put out. If you all have been following this, share these videos that we're doing, because that's the only way anybody's going to find out. These, all of this information, these interviews, all of it were sent to the national news media as well. That's where News Nation just put out that little bitty clip, that first little piece that we heard. They had it all, but they didn't play it. There are so many. Apparently, our own newspaper put in a public records request and got this information. Now, they did do a story on it. We read it. But there's a relationship there somewhere, y'all. There's been a relationship there for a very, very, very long time. So, between the courthouse and our local newspaper. So, I'm sure they're not wanting to do anything that's going to ruffle anybody's feathers. But, that's why we're in this mess that we're in Letcher County, because nobody will speak, nobody will talk, nobody will say a word. Everybody is afraid. So, let me see. Hang on just a second. Okay. So I told him you're busy. Okay. I don't know who that is. Something about my youngin's school. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry. Eligibility ball. Gotta keep his grades up, y'all. Okay. I'm sorry. It got me a little bit off kilter. So nobody has denied any of this stuff. Now, back to my point. What I was going to say was, we have heard there's now accusations, there are now allegations that everybody down there was doing this. There's allegations that Judge Mullins, there's also allegations that Mickey Steins was involved in this. There have been allegations that Mickey was doing the same behavior or conducting himself in a very similar manner as Ben Fields was whenever he was in charge of house arrest and the ankle monitors. I have a source who is no longer in that circle down there, but they gave me a little inside look at the jail, and I'm going to read a little bit of what they've said. Okay. The Letcher County Jail isn't so innocent, or the jail for that matter. The deputy jailers back in the day used to talk to the women inmates, even down to 3 of the deputies marrying the inmates when they got out. And then even one deputy jailer would give a calling card to a female inmate so he could call and talk to her. And that deputy was married at the time. Let's see. Let me see what I want to say and what I don't. Says the jailer was always with Kevin Mullins, or Kevin Mullins was always with the jailer. The jailer would stay up at the lounge. I guess that's probably the smoking room that we all call it, with the judge. Ever since ARC was a thing, the judge would call down and would tell the deputies to say so-and-so was either an alcoholic or they was on rugs, just being in jail for a DUI for 1 or 2 times. Or the judge would say, allegedly, they are to send them to ARC, and most of them didn't even need help. And the judge and the jailer allegedly made money off this. Says Judge Mullins allegedly ran the jail. Says Ben Fields' wife, Angie Fields, worked there as a deputy when she got her job upstairs, which I think is very convenient, because I'd say it was a much better job. I'm just assuming it probably pays more as well. But that was after. That was after Ben got in trouble, I'm pretty sure. When they put Ben Fields in jail, they put him in a 1-person cell. They bought him a new mattress, a big TV, and the jailer had a meeting with the deputies and told them that Ben Fields was coming in and to give him whatever he wanted or needed. If Ben don't want the cell door locked, don't lock it. And they would let his wife, Angie, go in the cell and spend time with him and everything else, if you know what I mean. And the jailer allegedly would give inmates a ride because him and the judge made sure they got to ARC, because that was money, allegedly, in their pockets. And the jailer then retired and let his brother take over being jailer. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. But that is allegedly a statement from a former employee at the jail. Hello, Kentucky. Jay Branham, his disclaimer of don't expect anything is synonymous to we're not going to do our job, even though we say we will. Had this been anyone other than a recovering addict, it would be different. Eugene S. There's another flirt they might try to fish, but some of us have morals and standards and don't do that. I'm saying I blame the women either for what they had to do. They don't have a choice. No, they didn't have a choice. They didn't have. Yes, Genevieve. Thank you. That's a great way to spell it. I'll remember that from now on and I'll use it. Independent autopsy is definitely warranted. Yep. Commonwealth Attorney Edison Banks. Well, and you know, Edison Banks then just passed away too. Said that he passed after a long illness, and I saw him a couple of years ago, maybe, at the courthouse, and he looked absolutely awful on his bed then. I mean, he could barely walk. He could barely come in that courtroom. I couldn't believe that they had not replaced him. And they let that go on for years and years. And I just don't understand it. And I'll tell you something else that I don't understand. I don't understand why Michael Watts hasn't been appointed to something, because Michael has been down there in all of those offices. He's the one that's done most, I would say, has done the majority of all the work down there on cases. Like, he's always in the courtroom. And he's always in the background. And so it just absolutely baffles me to why nobody has appointed him as anything, or why he hasn't ran in any of these offices. That's very, I question that. I wonder what's going on. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think everybody down there knows exactly what's going on. Exactly what's going on. Yes, please hit that like button if you all are not subscribed. Please subscribe. My analytics says like 65% of my viewers aren't even subscribed. I ain't too proud to beg. Hit that button. Hit the like button. It helps us. It helps us get it out to more people. You know, nobody will ever know about this if we don't share it. And people like you and me, we want to know all this stuff. But people like Matt Butler and Edison Banks and all of them down there at the courthouse, they don't want us talking. They don't want us saying anything. They don't want us having any kind of discussions. They don't want us having any kind of debates. They don't want us to even discuss any of this. Well, now we know why. Now we know why. I heard the monitoring company had issues with not being compliant with regulations or ownership transfer. Can't find them on Google. Well, you think about how much money they were bringing in just off of that. Like, I'm telling you, follow the money. Who's following the money? Where is there any audits done on the evidence room at the sheriff's department? I'm going to talk to my little friend. I've got a little friend who's really, really, really good, apparently, at public records requests. So I'm going to see if we can't get some of that information. Because I think we're allowed to write in and ask for, like, financial records of the sheriff's department. So, and that would include like evidence, sign-in sheets, logs, stuff like that. I think we can ask, request stuff like that. I don't know if they'll give it to us, but we'll see what we can't dig up. Makes you wonder, is it all about the power, or is it to make up for the size, or a little of both? Well, arrogance and egos are huge here. If they had gotten some DNA like on the blue dress, that might have helped. Well, and let me say that too. So that's a really good point. Why couldn't they have gone and done some kind of testing on the vehicle that he was meeting these girls in? Like, they could test the back seat, they could test the passenger seat, they could test for any kind of fluids. And if they found seminal fluid in the back seat on the seat, something like that, well, that would be proof right there. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that they could check stuff like that. But they don't do anything like that here. Like, I very seriously doubt anybody in Letcher County even knows about evidence collection. Like, they don't do fingerprints around here. They ain't none of these Barney Fifes know nothing about evidence, chain of custody, they don't do any of that stuff. And it always baffled me how many people actually took their cases to trial. People are scared to death. They're intimidated and they're terrified and they're lied to by police and they're lied to by these prosecutors, saying that they've got all this evidence against them and that they're going to send them up the river for 30 years for something. And then so they go in and they take a plea bargain that is a conviction, when sometimes these are innocent people that didn't do nothing. I've seen it happen. But if you would actually take your case to trial, when they go to pull all this paperwork to prove it in a court of law in front of a jury, people would be very surprised how little paperwork and how unethical a lot of these procedures are. And they'll all lie for each other. They'll all cover for each other, whether they know each other or not. They don't have to. If they've just got a badge, or if they've on that side of law enforcement, honey, we're going to do everything we can to protect you. You're one of our brothers. Yeah. You see what kind of brothers they are. No one is stepping up for these girls either. It would be after the fact, but may have saved some. So sad they went through that. In Tennessee, DAs and judges have tags that say judicial. I think here it says official. Are the strong women who were deposed all deceased now? No, just one of them is. There's two that were represented in the civil case. One is Sabrina Adkins. She's the one that we listened to today. And she's the one that we listened to yesterday, and she's still here. Jennifer Hill was the very first one that we listened to, and she is no longer here. And her estate is still represented in the civil suit, but once she passed away, the charges against Ben, the criminal charges against Ben, were dropped. So he only faced a single count. That's what it looks like to me. He only faced a single count of each of those charges for Sabrina, because they probably couldn't get to her. Who knows? I mean, I'm just speculating, but I sure wouldn't trust none of them. None of them. Kentucky. Hello, sweetheart. Glad you're here. Big money in that drug treatment stuff. That goes way up into political relations. You sure got that right, Miss Julie. ARC is all the way to the governor and the Kentucky Attorney General. Yep. AG won't do a thing. Heck no, they won't. The AG's detective violated these women as bad as Ben Fields did with these interviews. I can't imagine how them women felt when they walked out of that office with him. That's right, honey. Amazing how you have enough pull. Jail is more like a full-service hotel. Oh, Roach Motel, though. Roach Motel, where, you're lucky, oh my gosh, to survive. You're lucky to make it out of there. And I cannot believe they went and bought him a new mattress, a big TV. They let him just have his way of the Letcher County Jail. Sounds like to me. While everybody else is in there on a little mat this thick on concrete. Nasty, disgusting. I mean, people think that, around here they're probably not as populated as in the cities. I mean, they're overrun. Our jails are over full. But I would say one down in Florida or Atlanta, the Rice Street jail that's been all over the news. I don't know if ours is as bad as that, but it rivals it. I can promise you that. Our jail would rival anybody's jail on the negative side of things. Yeah. We don't know how much of that stuff, what were they doing with it? Everything that they confiscated, what did they do with it? Because it looks to me like 11 pounds of meth in Mickey's career as sheriff. That was just of that one substance. 11 pounds. And you got to think of all the money and all the pew-pews that they were confiscating along with all of that weight. Yeah, Ashley Blair's daddy, his unaliving. They just messed up the crime scene. So there wasn't any, everything would be contaminated. And they didn't get no evidence from his crime scene. Thank you for doing this. I'm learning from you so I can do what you're doing in my county. Our sheriff's office is off the chain and people are passing away, and ARC moved to our town. All right, Miss Bunny Yates, you just keep on stick with us, honey. ARC is everywhere. They started off with one facility. One. And his connections and all of his buddy and all these grants and all these using the court system and patting everybody on the back and carrying on. You know, the preacher man who came out down in Whitesburg, who came out right after Mickey went in there and unalived Judge Mullins, he put up a video on his own page right after the incident happened, and he was just made it all about him, of course. But he was ARC's plant, allegedly. You know, he was ARC's person that stayed in the courthouse. He said himself that Judge Mullins and Mickey Steins were two of his very best friends. He lost both of his best friends. Well, there's been allegations for quite some time, similar allegations against the preacher. And apparently, right after all this happened, he resigned as well. Said that he took a better job, is what I heard, but he got out of Dodge. I've got some statements from sources about that situation, but we're going to do that on a different video. I've been sharing all these videos and asking others to share as well. I just don't understand how more people are not outraged about all this. Yeah, and shame on us for even talking about it. Shame on us for even wanting people to know about this. He ran amok with taxpayer dollars. There's a whole lot of them running amok with taxpayer dollars. People just don't know it. In Alabama, it's got awful too. Resale so they could keep girls in jail. Yeah, doing the deed. Wouldn't surprise me none. They're not sitting in a closet somewhere. I guarantee you they're not. They're dangerous chemicals. There's one lady I seen a while back on TikTok who had also been done the same way. Can't remember her name. I've seen several people on TikTok tell their stories. And I'll tell you, honestly, when I first saw them all, I thought, oh, they're exaggerating. Oh, I bet they're just exaggerating. I feel ashamed of myself for thinking that now. I saw video said Kevin Mullins had the best rugs. Well, I heard that too. Come on, look at Matt B. He's from Michigan. He married the blonde sister to Mullins, had 2 kids with her. They divorced probably because he was cheating. Another had 2 more kids. Yeah. So tell me what kind of woman he wants. Yeah. Well, and somebody just said it wasn't long ago that he'd show up to the kids' soccer games with one woman, and then he'd go to this kid's basketball game or school function with another one. So, yeah, I know. He's got a different woman on his arm every time. I couldn't tell you who his wife is. I have no idea. Yeah, I do. I mean, the new wife. I know who the ex-wife is, but I don't know who the new wife is. I wouldn't know her if I saw her. To be with a man like that, all that baggage has to be some reason why he can't keep the one and stick to one. Well, and then you got all of that nastiness going on down in town. Where one of the lawyers, we won't say his name, allegedly, there have been rumors for a very long time that the lawyer's girlfriend would go out to the bars and pick up a man to bring back home for the lawyer to then sit in the corner and watch. Allegedly. Oh, I know it's awful. I feel bad just even repeating that. But, this stuff is awful. Like, that's why I thought when all this was first starting to come out little by little by little, I was like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. No way would they do something like that and risk losing their job, their position. And little did I know, it's a network. So if these kinds of things have been going on, can't they look into RICO charges on all these people that work down there? They have to have an investigation first. They have to be able to prove that they're doing anything. And when you've got detectives that aren't willing to do any investigating, where do you turn? When even the FBI looks the other way. They came in and got Mr. Blair, the Commonwealth attorney in Hazard, but they got him for the smallest charge they could possibly give him. Honest services fraud. When he was committing acts that were just as bad as Ben Fields, if not worse. Like, this is all snake-infested, I don't even know what to call it. A cesspool. Let's see. Why would the woman be shown a video of, she said, and Ben used the judge's office because there were no cameras? Those were different videos. The videos that she was talking about that she had seen that somebody has apparently were made, and that's what a lot of pedos do, and people who are sexually immoral and this kind of stuff. A lot of them have pornographic material on their computers and stuff. It's not like this is a whole sickness. It doesn't just stop at one or two little instances here. When people have this kind of lifestyle, when it's a lifestyle, a whole lifestyle, and it might have been a secret to most or many, but it was an open secret, apparently. All these are. Only reason he's so pro Letcher County is because they put him in such a high position, and he has just as much baggage as a lot of females do with baby daddies. Let's see. Under the guise of we're helping people, meanwhile manipulating the opioid hysteria, making money for big pharma on subs and fake drug treatments, and hurting legit patients not getting needed meds. I agree. Tam down to you all that live there. This has happened for all this to be coming out now. And this was going on, from what I understand, y'all, this has been going on since way long before Judge Mullins and Mickey ever even got in that courthouse. This kind of environment, just the crookedness and the unethical behavior and immoral behavior, all this stuff, I reckon has been going on for a very, very, very long time. So, and they've all learned it. It's all familial. Like Jimmy Kraft, well, he's our circuit court judge. Well, his daddy used to be the prosecutor in Whitesburg and was Whitesburg's mayor until he just passed away. And now his little young wife ended up becoming mayor after he passed away. And, heck, you can just look at that. She's like 50 years younger than him. I mean, it might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but I bet it ain't much of one. He was an old man and she was a young beauty queen. So, it's just par for the course around here, apparently. $50 years or so, exactly. Yep. All right, y'all. Keepsakes for their viewing enjoyment. Yeah, people, that's what they do. And they share that stuff with their friends who are just as immoral and stuff. So, it wouldn't surprise me if these do exist. But who knows? All right, y'all. We've still got another one to go. We've still got the audio interview with Ben Fields himself. So we're going to do that one tomorrow. Betty, my daddy said the Crafts have ran Whitesburg for as long as it's been there, and he's 85. Yeah, I got a lot of good stories from my ex-husband. He was like a musical prodigy when he was young. He was a guitar player and musician, whatever. And when he was 13 years old, 13, he started a band. And he was taking in all the bars around here at 13 years old, given anything that he wanted. And his band, I think that was when Kraft was starting to run in politics for offices, and he used them as a good campaign, a part of his campaign somehow, behind the scenes, kissing babies and shaking hands and all that stuff. Back to topics for the first half of the Majors relationship. I'm not sure I understand. It's when the law comes along, and yeah, it's going on for years, would be highly likely. Yeah. Hundreds of years, the last names might have switched up over the decades. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you did. And we will see you all this evening on Gavin Fish. We will be on, I'll be on his show at 7:30 p.m. tonight. And we'll do a little talk with him. And I probably won't do another live on my channel tonight, but who knows, we might get off of Gavin Fish and want to do another one of ours. So we'll see. Just stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Okay. We'll see you this evening. All right. Bless you all. Bye.